I have seen a security hologram of him killing younglings.
Not Anakin.
The time has finally come. After years of speculation and fan theories, we finally find out whether or not Rey is related to Luke or Leia. Who really is Supreme Leader Snoke? Is he Darth Plagueis or something else completely? Something far more sinister and mysterious? Like a former youngling, perhaps? Click here to find out. After 2 years of anticipation, Rian Johnson's Star Wars: The Last Jedi film has hit theaters to very divisive reviews. It's clear that the risks that were taken threw critics and audiences off alike. Not only was The Last Jedi divisive, but also communal in a way. Fans coming together to exchange ideas, thoughts, praise, and critique. It's nice. Now, let's talk about the movie. Oh, and spoilers ahead. The film was really enjoyable with more than a couple of problems. The most glaring being from a technical standpoint, its pacing. In certain parts of the film, it just feels like it's just drudging along with no clear sense of direction. 30 minutes in and have no idea what the film is even about. In the first 30 minutes of The Invitation, we know this is a movie about a dinner with old friends who reunite after a tragedy. We don't know how it's going to end or resolve, but there's a clear sense of what the movie is. Same thing with A New Hope. In the first half hour, we know it's going to be about a farmer boy leaving behind his home to fight in the resistance and save the princess. This is something we don't get in The Last Jedi, and when we don't know what's happening, we're not as invested in the story or characters as we should be. The film finally starts to pick up after we get some answers that were set up in the previous film. No matter how jarring some of these answers might have been, it still really worked. Rey isn't related to anyone of significance. Supreme Leader Snoke isn't as important as we thought he was. Luke tried to kill Ben Solo, which is what pushed him to be Kylo Ren. All this new information wasn't what I expected, and it was satisfying. The film's highlights are whenever Rey, Kylo Ren, and Snoke are in a scene together. There's a really nice payoff to that whole conflict, and at that point in the movie, it just felt like that was the climax. It was not. And this is where the pacing was a problem. It seemed as though the film was building up to that moment. Maybe something a little extra after that and then a resolution, but it turns out that wasn't the climax. There's a whole other climatic action sequence that feels like it was just plopped on. Even though it was entertaining and had some really hurrah moments, it still felt really inconsistent. I should also mention there were things that really was just odd in the movie and stuck out like a sore thumb. In particular, Space Leia. What was that? How and why? Am I supposed to just assume the Force? Shooting out electricity is one thing, but floating your way through space after being blown out of your ship from an explosion is another. I honestly almost couldn't believe it. It was really hard to comprehend what I had just witnessed. And not to be too cynical, but why were there porgs in the movie? What purpose did they serve other than to make people go, oh, that's cute? What other reason could there be to include? Oh wait, no, yeah, money. Almost forgot. Finn and Rose's plotline was for the most part boring, up until the near end of it at least. The film was shifting through so many locations at that point that it just felt really choppy and inconsistent. There was no flow whatsoever. I know it sounds like I'm shitting on this movie, but it's only because I care and expected more. It's nowhere near as bad as some people online have been making it out to be. This isn't Attack of the Clones. These are still characters that are enjoyable to watch and are charismatic, whose journeys we're still invested in, who the actors that play them do a great job at portraying. The dramatic moments still hit hard. We see hints of possible shifts in the dynamics of certain characters for the future, most notably Rey and Kylo Ren. I couldn't be the only one that felt some sexual tension between them, right? I'm interested in seeing where that leads to. Probably into the new trilogy, I'm guessing. Of course, the production design and special effects were great. It was all visually stunning. The film works as far as the ideas and interpersonal conflicts they present, but falls short due to its tonal inconsistencies, bad pace, and placement of annoying-ass porgs. The Star Wars series has long been a fickle matter with its fans. Some only enjoy the original trilogy, some just the prequels. Whether or not you like this latest installment, you're still part of an ever-growing community of passionate and dedicated fans who will defend their views to the end. I'm gonna quote YouTuber Captain Christian on this because there's no better way to put it than the way he did. Star Wars gets people thinking about stories and how they're told. The amount of great content, commentary, and thoughtful criticism born out of the franchise is truly remarkable, and I wouldn't change a thing about it. So if I had to rate the movie out of 10, I think I'd give it a 5 or 6. I don't know.